Okay, close enough. This is WA6ED for the SOARA 10-meter net. I didn't hear anybody. If we're interfering, please call now. Yeah, it's pretty quiet today. This is WA6ED for the SOARA 10-meter net. We run this net on 28.415 plus or minus. It's open net for all licensed amateurs, especially technicians. Technicians can get on 10 meters if they have a technician license, of course. We try to encourage technicians to get on the air on HF as soon as they can, and this is an opportunity. If you'd like to join the net, please call now. W6EDT.
KN6HI.
Okay, so far we got Dale acknowledged and Steve acknowledged. I didn't ask if there was any emergency or priority traffic, so I'm going to back up one for a second. If there's any, please call now. Okay, anybody else like to join the net? Please call now. Okay, well, I got a little bit of news that's encouraging, at least encouraging for me, and that is there is a OpenHamClock that's web-based, browser-based, that looks very similar to HamClock, and so I'm going to be playing around with that over the next week or so, and then I'm already starting to scratch the noggin about, well, how do I get a bigger screen for my little Raspberry Pi over here that has a little 7-inch screen? First, I'm going to see how it'll come up and look on the 7-inch screen, and I don't know how well it will or not, but it's encouraging, so I'm very happy about that. So that's OpenHamClock.com. So Rich just turned me on to it, and also Rich's antennas are still down. He just texted me. It's like 35 degrees outside, so I don't think he wants to go outside and fix antennas in almost freezing weather. But anyway, I just texted him this morning to see how he's doing. Antennas are still down, and that's in Texarkana, Texas. Okay, Dale, you can hand it over to Steve, and then Steve hand it back to me, and we'll see if anybody else wants to join the net. Open topic, I've been talking about HamClocks. So, whatever ham radio thing you want to talk about, that's okay with me. Over to W6EDT, WA6ED.
Well, thanks, Ed. Yeah, the HamClock thing is kind of sad. Apparently, as near as I can tell, the sponsor has some real serious medical problems, and well, anyway, the details are out there. But at the end of the day, it was kind of a such thing. So. There is other development going on. There are people that are contacting the family to see if they will release the code, even possibly release the URLs that are used in the back end and just take it over. So, yeah, I don't know. At this point, it's too early to say. I mean, there's growing degrees and stuff like that. So, certainly, maybe we'll be able to keep the HamClock. The web-based stuff sounds kind of interesting too, and of course, I would also encourage, although it doesn't have some of the same capabilities, the Geotron's a real nice choice, but it's not cheap at all, and so it's got a lot of other capabilities, so they're not just focused on the HamClock. But yeah, it's going to be hard to replace that. I use that quite a bit, quite often. Looks like right now we have an M-class flare. According to HamClock at the moment, which means the 10 meters long distance is kind of wiped out. Hey, I'll pass it on to Steve. Steve, your signal's great. Yes, your signal's great on the vertical, and not so much on the dipole, and as is usual. So over to Steve, KN6HI from W6ED.
All right, thanks, Dale. This is Steve, KN6HI. Yeah, I'm using I still have the 40-meter coil in the antenna, but I use a jumper around it and retune for 10 meters. So I guess hopefully this is, and I turned on my whatever they call it, the voice processing, the PRC it's called on the 891. I turned that back on. I think I inadvertently turned that off once before, so I don't know how my audio sounds right now, but hopefully it's okay. Anyway, that's about it. Up on the hill here, it's starting to get a little bit warmer. Got the windows cracked open a little bit, and there's a lot of flies up here apparently, so if I have the windows all the way down, there's a lot of them. end up in the car. So there you have it. Okay, back over to net control, WA6ED. I'm sorry about that. WA6ED. This is Steve KN6HI.
WA6ED. Okay, thanks, Steve. And if you want to try it with compression on and off the next round, you can do that, and we can give you a radio check if you're interested, of course. All right, let's see if anybody else wants to join the net. If you'd like to join the SOARA 10-meter net, we're here. Please call now.
Kilo 6, November, Oscar Victor. KD7WRM.
Okay, I got K6NOV, Ray, and then a KC7WRM. I don't know your name. Can I get your name, please?
Whiskey Romeo Mike, and I am Wayne.
Oh, I think you were here last week or something like that. So sorry about that, Wayne. Okay, so Steve, you hand it to Ray, and then Ray, you hand it over to Wayne, and I'll try to remember Wayne's call sign in the future. Yeah, it takes a while sometimes for me to remember them. Okay, let's see if anybody else wants to join the net. If you'd like to join the SOARA 10-meter net, please call now.
W6CAG, good morning.
Well, you're tail end Charlie again, Claude, and I'll try to keep your name straight. I was hoping that would be you. That's why I did one more call, so trying to catch you on there. All right, Wayne, you hand it over to Claude on the next round. And then, on FCC, I just renewed my license, and basically it's a two-step process. You got to go to FCC ULS and set it all up and tell them you want to renew, and then you got to go over to CORS and pay them. And that's another FCC site. So I did not know that when I started. I jumped straight to CORS, and it don't work. You can't get it to do what you want. So you got to go to the FCC ULS first. So I'm all renewed, got in under the shutdown, so everything is done. So I'm happy about that. Okay, over to Dale, W6EDT, WA6ED.
Well, thanks, Ed. And yeah, it's certainly a complicated setup there. They have one place where you sort of initiate the request to take your money, and then the other place takes your money. And so, I don't know. I guess it's somehow more efficient. Anyway, it's good to know that that's the way to do it. And in a few months, I guess mine expires in November. I'll do the same thing. So thanks for being the pioneer on that in this group anyway. I'll pass it to Steve KN6HI and WCDT. And thanks for running the net, Ed.
Thanks, Dale. And thanks for running the net also, Ed. Appreciate that. And, well, let's see. Not much to add here. I don't drive this truck that much, and so I've got a spider web that's connected to my rearview mirror here. And he was there last week, and always something gets into the web, and this time nothing's happening. So I don't know. Maybe he's out to lunch. So anyway, so there's all kinds of things to see here. Anyway, that's about it. I think I'm going to pass it on to Ray, K6NOV. This is Steve, KN6HI.
All right, thanks, Steve, in the group. Yeah, I kind of joined late, so I didn't know if there was a topic or not, but I did listen in on the 40-meter net and heard Dale's comment about HamClock being discontinued. So I did some Googling, and I found this OpenHamClock on GitHub, and downloaded it and ran it. It's, I don't know, it's not as cool looking as the original, but I think it'll work. And the fact that it's open source, people can contribute, so maybe it'll only get better. So I'll just throw that out there. And then I'm handing it off to Wayne. I think it was KD7WRM, K6NLD.
Morning, Law. Yes, glad to hear about HamClock going away, potentially, but hopefully it can solve it. About all I got for right now, so I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Claude, K7WRM.
Well, Claude might not hear you, Wayne. Over to W6CAG. Take it, Claude, WA6ED.
Oh, hi. Yeah, thank you. Sorry about that. My attention was diverted, so I didn't. Somehow I thought that Wayne would talk longer, give me a chance to bring up Google and start looking for OpenHamClock. And while I was looking at typing in that, I guess Wayne turned it over to me, and I just I dropped the ball. Sorry, but I am hearing Wayne. Just he's not as strong as everybody else. A lot weaker. It's a shame that the HamClock wasn't made open source. But we'll see what happens. I don't know. I guess it'll stop working because the supporting infrastructure will time out, and that won't work. So it's a shame. I guess I'll have to repurpose my. I've got this. Well, it's not a giant monitor, but it's probably 20 inches or so. That sits on the shelf here, above my station, and it's usually I've got HamClock on it when it's not when I'm not using it for FT8 for display for my computer. Okay, so much for that. I'm Taylor and Charlie, huh? Okay, over to you there, Ed. WA6ED, not W6EAG.
WA6ED, and this is the SOARA 10-meter net. And if you'd like to join the net, please call now. Okay, well, I'm looking at the OpenHamClock right now. Thanks for the announcement there, Ray. It looks okay. It's different, and I haven't figured it out yet. Now I'm starting the gears are grinding on, okay, well, how do I get another monitor in this shack? I have two now, and then I got another monitor over here, but it's not hooked up. But that means I'd have to have three monitors connected to this tower. And then I also want to run my Mac with probably three monitors as well. So I got that part working with two, but not three. The other thing is to see, I have a Smarty Pi, a 7-inch touchscreen display on a Raspberry Pi. Well, I could put a browser screen up on that and use that, but I'd have wasted space compared to HamClock. Unless I can get the browser to run in presentation mode or something, I might be able to do that. Or try one of the other less popular or less well-known browsers like, I keep thinking Orchestra, but that's not it. But anyway, there's other browsers out there that are pretty cool too. And it's not Orchestra, but guys, it's something else. I just can't remember right now. But Firefox I use a lot, and I also use Chrome a lot at work for different things, and they might have some mode for that as well. Okay, yeah, I think bypassing the 40-meter coil with a jumper for 10 meters is just fine there, Steve. So I don't see any problem with that. And let's go ahead and go back to the top of the list. Over to Dale. W6EDT, WA6ED.
Well, thanks, Ed. And I haven't downloaded or looked at OpenHamClock. We have till June 1st, I think, on HamClock continuing to work. So it's not an emergency. They're going to keep the servers up by then. Hopefully the situation will be more clear, and maybe we can continue to use something that we've gotten familiar with. Or maybe we'll have to switch, or maybe somebody will start an entirely new project. I kind of like the idea of the client running on my machine, pulling data from one side to another, or even, better yet, aggregating sources, or not aggregating, but individual sources, all of that increases the load on those things. So, yeah, the fact that he has an aggregation server that consolidates everything is interesting. His client is passing it down. My understanding that the passing it down part is not super efficient, which is, I've noticed that a little bit. It's okay, it doesn't cause much to load, but it is kind of interesting nonetheless. But it's hard to get the right combination of features, for sure. Like, I like the photo spotting and both have stuff. I mean, individually, none of it's that tricky, I suppose, but Fortunately, there's a lot there. Anyway, over to Steve, Sam 6HI, W60DC.
Okay, thanks, Dale. This is Steve, KN6HI. Yeah, sorry for the question here, but what does HamClock do? I have not looked into that at all. I'm going to guess that maybe if it is bringing in data from the internet, it probably could show you call signs at certain frequencies or what's going on. Probably has one of the solar, one of those boxes that'll show you all the different solar parameters. I'm assuming that that's what it does, but it seems so popular that it's a real question in my mind. What does it do? Anyway, so if anybody can fill me in on that, I'd appreciate that. Anyway, that's about it. I think I'll pass it on to Ray, K6NLB. This is Steve, KN6HI.
Hi, thanks, Steve. In answer to your question, and I'm sure other people can fill in more, but it was, I had mine running on a Raspberry Pi, and it had your call sign on there with, your current time zone and then UTC, so you got all the clocks displayed. And then it takes feeds from like the DX cluster, and then POTA spot, BOA cap for HF propagation, and just has displays on the screen. So very cool. Looks like the new one does that a little bit as well. And then to your point, Dale, I'm hoping that's all just running on the client. There's no central server needed, other than just pulling from those publicly available sources like BOGAP and the DX cluster and those sorts of things. So hopefully it works out. I don't like the way it looks. I'm familiar with HamClock. I like the way that one looks. But maybe with contributors being open source, we can make it look a little different if we want. I don't know. But I'll pass it on over to Wayne, K6NLB.
This is Wayne. Hey, Ed or anybody else, did you consider trying to locate a picture-in-picture window rather than getting another monitor? I was just flipping through a search engine to see if picture-in-picture was available for PCs. And it looks like there might be something out there, something I never really had thought that myself, but having one window down in the corner so you can kind of observe it while the major display is taking care of the other thing. Anyhow, just an idea rather than adding another monitor, if that's what if that could be of assistance to you. Anyhow, I'll pass it to Clive, KD7WM. Thank you.
Okay. Got it this time. W6CAG here. Yeah, among the things that Ray mentioned that HamClock does, but it also, I think he mentioned that it pulls information from PSK reporters. Right now, it's showing a lot of activity on 10 meters. I'm showing lots of lines over to beacons or whatever stations in South America, Europe, and down to South Africa. ZS5, ZS6 down there. That way, at least where I am, it's showing like over 1,100 stations on 10 meters that it's reporting that I'm at least from here in DM13. I like that it shows the position of the sun relative to the equator time zone. So I've enjoyed watching as the sun is starting to creep up the screen, up the map, making its way back towards the equator, where I guess it'll cross on the equinox in March, and then head on north to as the days get longer. So we're past the solstice and where the sun was further south of the equator, at least on the map. So anyway, it's kind of neat, and I will be investigating the other thing. I like that it fills up the whole screen. Having a window down on a browser down in the corner. I guess it'd be okay if it was just one or two of the sub windows on HamClock, but there are right now on mine 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little windows and one big one, so 8 altogether. They would be just too crowded for a little window. So you really want a good sized monitor, or maybe you have better eyes than I do. Okay, back up to Ed there, at the head of the group, the head of the class there, from tail end Charlie here. W6CAG, go ahead.
WA6ED for the SOARA 10-meter net. Would anybody like to join the net? Please call now. Okay, well, I guess there's nobody out there that wants to join, that has not already joined. Yes. Picture-in-picture sounds like a good idea, Wayne. I have never done that. I think it's a power grab for me. I get another monitor, I have an excuse for it. So more monitors are the better. I have a laptop at work and two external monitors, and you get spoiled after a while having lots and lots of windows open. And I try to keep track of it to where I know what I'm doing, but every once in a while I lose track of something. So having too many monitors is probably not a good idea. But it reminds me of the movie Swordfish, where they had all those monitors. I think they had 6 or 9 monitors, something like that. That was crazy. But anyway, picture-in-picture, something to look into. Another tech toy. If they support it, that would be really cool. And the other thing would be nice if Firefox or whatever let you have a presentation mode where there's no borders and you have to press escape to get it out of that mode. That would be nice. That'd be like PowerPoint or some of the other presentation modes and other tools. That would be cool. Well, it is very sad that the gentleman passed away, Silent Key now, and I'm really kind of happy that people are interested in keeping HamClock going, and that there's already an OpenHamClock. That's pretty cool. And then the client-server thing, yeah, everything in the client would be nice, and not have a client-server model, but there's certain efficiencies. If you have a server, you're not loading the other websites as much because you can cache it and then spit it out to all your websites or all your clients. So from that point of view, it's less traffic on the originator, and that would be nice. That's always a good thing. The other thing I was thinking you could do is pack the data and compress it to the client, and that would save traffic as well. And if you start getting thousands and thousands of HamClocks, it can add up really quick as far as the workload. So anyway, I'm starting to think that's dangerous. All right, let's go back up to the top of the list. Over to Dale, W6EDT, WA6ED.
Well, thanks, Ed. Appreciate that. And yes, you're exactly right. That aggregation thing was some of the data sources were very concerned about that. Although there's a lot of clients, and the guy that did HamClock, and there's a few others out there as well, have the same, basically will contact and said, hey, please stop this. We don't have the resources to do this, and so, that's why, perhaps one of the reasons why they aggregated it. But like you say, you need to consider it, and as you say, you can also, do compression and things like that. But at the end of the day, the HamClock, it has a lot of cool features. One of the features I use is you can move, if you want to say, how's the propagation to New York? You can move, you can click on the section marked CE or CX and move the pointer to wherever you want in the world, and then it will show you a heat map of what the likely values are for any given band, of likelihood of propagation or not. So I think that's pretty cool, and it's just a lot of little useful things. I do have to say that the UI on HamClock is a little bit flopped, I guess. It's fixed. It's not a resizable window. You can get several different cam sizes, but it's not infinitely resizable because it doesn't use scalable vector graphics that's all been mapped. And that's just the way he decided to do it. So not complaining, that's the story. So with that, it's the KN6HI. Oh, and the picture-in-picture thing, you could do that with HamClock by running it in a web client and resize the web client wherever you want it. And so you can run HamClock on a headless pie, and then it's that your choice. You don't want to run it on your main machine for some reason, or you can run it on your main machine. But in any case, you can get a browser window and resize it to some degree, I guess. So with that, over to Steve. KN6HI, W6UV.
Thanks, Dale. This is Steve, KN6HI, and I think I'll check out the OpenHamClock just to see what that looks like. And I guess we can keep our fingers crossed that somebody else takes over the original HamClock code, and that they have some arrangement in the future that they can do that. Sounds like a neat thing, so that's good. And the other thing going on is I need to get on the air in CW. Ray and I have talked about that, and we'll try to set something up, I think. And if anybody else wants to do any practice CW on the air, that would be really cool. Just let me know. And that's about all I know. So I'm going to pass it on to Ray, K6NOV. This is Steve, KN6HI.
All right. Well, I do owe you that, Steve. I'll get you some time slots that'll work for me. And I think that would be a good idea to get on the air and practice. Ed, I did a quick Google and found that both Chrome and Firefox have a command line switch to go start and full screen. So I set up a quick little command prompt and launched it and got the OpenHamClock running in full screen on one of my monitors. So that is doable. So I can see you just putting that in your startup shell script on a Raspberry Pi, because that's where I have my current HamClock, and just have it start in full screen on the Raspberry Pi. So we'll have to see. And yeah, like what Dale said, it is kind of a funky little interface on HamClock, although, we all learned it and now love it. So the new one, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of room for growth being open source. So hopefully that's the case. Or even if they get the old HamClock code and release that open source, that would be really cool too. I don't know. All right, I'll pass it on over to Wayne, K6NLB.
Hello, I'm Wayne. I really don't think I have anything to contribute at this point. I'm going to continue to listen and pass it over to Claude. Thank you very much. K7WR.
Okay, W6CAG here. I think you turned it over to me. Your signal was noticeably weaker than the other guy, so I detected that you stopped talking, so I drew the conclusion. But before I forget, I used to do a couple of monitor things with my laptop computer like you're doing at work. I strongly recommend that you, instead of doing two screens like, 15 or 20-inch screens, 17-inch screens, which people typically use, I went and bought a 48-inch screen. It's not square. It's long, kind of cinematic, and I really like that because you get rid of that split as things go from one screen to the other, and it's actually a lot nicer than having two screens. Just having the one 48-incher high definition. The one I have is from Dell, and it's curved. It's a flat screen, but it's curved, sort of in an arc. So anyway, I'm happy that I invested in that. It's really nice. And the other thing you can do with Chrome, I'm going to mention, is you can if you have multiple windows set up on a Chrome system, you can take two of those tabs on Chrome and split the whole window between the two, so you can have window and window sort of thing. You can have I'd devote one of them to, let's say, HamClock, and the other one to something else. I've done that on this monitor here, this 48-incher, and it works good. Very simple to do with Chrome. That's it, right. So this time around, back up to top of the list. Go ahead there at W6CH.
Well, thank you, Claude, WA6ED, for the SOARA 10-meter net. I wanted to check to see if there's any late check-ins. Anybody want to check into the 10-meter net before we do our 73 round? Okay, well, I think we wore out HamClock for a while. I definitely want to do some more work. And then the F11s, I had to do a function key F11 to get it in full screen mode. Thank you for that, Ray. That's really nice. That made it where I have more room. I always want more pixels. More pixels, the better. I like the idea of the big screen, Claude, but I'm limited on the space for monitors right now. I'm working on trying to get rid of stuff. If I can get rid of stuff, then I don't need so many shelving, and I can maybe use bigger monitors. Like that idea. Really good. All right, it's been kind of fun. Picture-in-picture is a good idea. Talking about antennas a little bit with that 40-meter coil jumper. That's pretty cool. And then people are going to practice CW today. Well, hopefully. And that'll be fun, too. So lots of different things going on Sunday. Everybody have a great Sunday. And I'm going to hand it over to Dale to start a 73 round. W6EDT, take it away. WA6ED.
Well, thanks, Ed. Thanks for running the net. Good net today, and enjoyed it a lot. Good to hear some folks out there. With that, I'll say 70 to you all, and pass it to Steve KN6HI from W6EDT.
Okay, thanks, Dale. This is Steve KN6HI, and thanks, Ed, for running the net. 73, everybody, and I learned a lot this time. So hopefully, I can make use of that. Anyway, over to Ray, K6NOV. This is Steve, KN6HI.
Thanks, Steve, and thanks, Ed, for running the net. And, I'm with you, Ed. I need more monitors. And I do need separate monitors for my shack, because I need one for HamClock, I need one for waterfall, and I need one to, run my other ham software. So I wish they just made smaller monitors. They're making everything, widescreen and big. And I wish I could get some old of those 4x3 monitors. That would be fine. They'd fit better on the desk. But anyways, I'm going to say 73. And thanks again for running the net, Ed. It's been a good one. Pass it on over to Wayne, K6NOV.
Roger. Thank you, Ray. I've got depth and space issues in my area. Radio area. I only have one monitor, and it has 3 inputs, so I just switch in between the 3 sources as necessary. It's a pain, but you got to deal with what you got to deal with. And have a good week, everybody. KD7 WRM73.
Okay, Wayne, thank you. 73 to you. And one thing I'd kind of like to know is when you CW guys go on the air to practice CW. I wonder what band, what frequency you use. Thanks, Ed, for running things. By the way, the 48-inch monitor doesn't take up much more room than the 2 17-inch monitors, and it sits on one stand, so it works for me. I'm happy with it. You all have a great week coming up. We'll look forward to chatting next weekend. So back to you to tie it up, and thanks. W6CAG 73 West.
WA6ED. Well, thanks, Claude. Steve, Ray, or Dale, do you have a frequency or anything for Claude in case he wants to listen in to CW?
HI.
Go ahead, HI.
Yeah, Steve KN6HI. I think, like a 20-meter, let's see, I was looking at 06, in that vicinity, probably for the CW, because that's what I built that antenna for, and so that was it's a monoband, so that's what I was thinking about. I don't know if that worked for Ray. So anyway, back to net control. Steve, KN6HI.
Okay, well, thank you, Steve. Claude, does that help?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll, Steve, if you think about it when you're going to do something, maybe make a little mailing list and invite everybody to participate that you want. Okay, back to you, Ed, W6CAG.
Okay, well, thanks, guys. Have a great Sunday. Try to keep things moving forward here. I had a lot of fun today, too, finding out about OpenHamClock and all that. So, a lot of neat things going on. And hopefully we'll continue to have fun with this stuff. All right, this net's now closed. We'll return this frequency back to normal use, and WA6ED is clear.